Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be continuing the Bandit challenge from level 20. If you watched my previous videos, we went from level 0 all the way down to level 20. I divided it into multiple videos, but right now we're going to continue from level 20. So, let's first log in to level 20. Alright, so I connected to Bandit 20. I skipped the part where I have to go in and put the password in because it's repetitive. But now that we're connected to Bandit 20, let's reread the challenge. It's saying that there's a set UID binary here that makes a connection to localhost on the port we specify as a command line argument. So let's look at what's inside of the Bandit 20 directory with ls. We have a SU connect program. If we want to get information about it, so we already know it's set UID because it's red, right? But let's assume it's not red and we wanted to know properly. Remember the program that we need to look at file information. We're going to say file, then the file name, which is SU connect, and it's saying that it's set UID, right? So let's see what it does. So set UID, and remember what set UID means is that this program can be run by anyone, but it actually runs as the owner of the file, right? So if the owner of the file was root, for example, any user can run it, and it would assume that's running as the root user. So that's what a set UID binary is. If you run SU connect, let's see what it does. It's saying we need a port number, yeah. So let's just try. Let's just give it a random one. Let's say 9999. Wait, before we do that, we actually have to remember what the challenge says. It says that we need to this program is going to connect to that port on the local host, and when it connects to the port on localhost, it's going to wait for a connection. It's going to wait for us to supply the password from that side, right? So it's and anyway, before we even connect to that port, we need a listener waiting on that port, right? So once you type in the port, it's going to try to make the connection, and there needs to be something there to listen for that connection. So in order to do that, we're going to let's just open up a new terminal, and we're going to have to this makes it a bit bigger. Zoom in. We're gonna have to connect as Bandit 20 again. So we're gonna say bandit.labs.overthewire. I wish the server name wasn't so long. overthewire.org-p0. Enter, and then we're gonna paste in the password. And then now that we're logged in as Bandit 20, what we're gonna do is that we are going to we're going to set up a listener, right? So in order to set up a listener, we're going to use a Swiss Army knife NC, and we're going to specify LVP, which means L for listen, V verbose, P port, and then we're going to specify 9999, right? So this you can specify any port. We're using this port over here. So it says NC-LVP 9999. And what this is going to do is that it's going to put a listener on that port. So once we make the connection from the other terminal, we say SU connect, and then we specify the port, and the connection comes in. This command over here is going to be it's going to catch the connection, and then we'll be able to submit the password here from the connection. It's going to send it back to the first terminal, and then we're going to get the password. So I hope you get the idea. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section. So we're going to say set up the listener. We're going to hit enter, and right now it's listening on port 9999. Now if we go back to the first port over here on the first terminal, let's say SU connect, and then we specify 9999. So this program is going to make a connection to port 9999, and since we have a listener set up, this is going to catch the connection. So hit enter. So it received the connection, as you can see, and the challenge was saying it then reads a line of text from the connection, right? So we have to actually submit the password from the connection, not from the original location. So we're going to say paste clip in here. This is going to send it back, and as you can see, is that the password? Let me just copy this. We pasted the password from the connection. Did it show up in the first terminal? Let's just see. Yes, its password matches sending password, right? So it sent the password, and that's why we got it here. So this is the password for Bandit 21. So let's just copy that. I don't think we need this other terminal now, so we can just close that. Let's go to the second terminal. We're gonna close that, and then we're gonna exit. and we're gonna connect as Bandit 21. Paste. Alright, so now that we're connected as Bandit 21. Ooh, that was a weird challenge, wasn't it? Alright, so we're in Bandit 21. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to Bandit 21. So actually, before we go there, let me just give you a quick recap of what we did. I feel like I didn't explain it clearly. So what we did was we set up there was a SU connect set UID binary, okay, inside of the Bandit 20 user, and what it does is that it takes a command line argument as a port number. So once you give it a port number, it's gonna try to connect to that port on the local machine. And in order for the port that we're trying to connect to actually catch the connection, we needed to set a listener on that port. So that's why we needed the other terminal. So once we set up a listener on the other port, and the connection was sent over to the port that had the listener on it, it was able to catch the connection. And then once it caught the connection, we pasted the password from that port, and then we were able to get the password. So that's basically how this works, and everything was happening within the same server that we're connected to. So that's the recap. Again, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. So we're gonna go to level 21 to level 22. So it says a program is running automatically at regular intervals from cron, time-based job scheduler. Look in etc cron.d for the configuration and see what command is being executed. All right, so again, this is gonna be a new introduction to what cron is. So let's just go over there right now. So it's saying that it says look inside of etc cron.d. Let's just do that right now. We're gonna change directories to etc cron.d. And again, this is absolute path because etc is not available from this port. So what that means is that if I say ls, there's no etc. So I can't say /etc. I can't do that because it's not directly connected, right? And yeah. So now that we're here, we're gonna press ls to see what's inside of here, and we see cron job bandit 15 root, cron job bandit 17 root, Okay, so since we're in bandit 21, we probably have to look at this over here, the bandit 22. So let's just cat that out. Cron job bandit 22, and it says at reboot bandit 22 and /user bin cron job bandit 22.sh. And so basically there's a file called cronjob _ bandit 22.sh. So it's a bash script, and it's running at irregular intervals based off what this is telling us. It's saying that a program is running automatically at regular intervals from cron, right? So I'm assuming that this program over here, okay, this one over here is running at regular intervals. And let's see what it's actually doing, right? So let's just cat that out. Again, we have to specify the full path. Let's say /user bin /cronjob bandit 22.sh, right? So we're gonna see what's inside of there. It's saying no such file or directory. Okay, I typed it wrong. Hope you guys can see this. Let me just make this a full screen. Yeah, so it's cron cat user bin cron job. Okay, so this is the code. So this program is running at regular intervals, and the first command, again, this first line over here is just the shebang. Now, this whole thing that's running, this is the shebang. But when you see the first line over here, it's specifying that the file is a bash script, right? So the first command starts here. This is the first command, and it's saying chmod c44 temp, and then this thing over here. So it's giving permissions, specifically 644 permissions to the file that's in this temp directory, right? So the file name is this, and then it's catting etc bandit pass bandit 22. So it's catting bandit 22's password into the file temp t706 blah 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 blah. So it's basically copying the password of bandit 22 into this file over here, the file called this, that's inside of the temp directory. And remember that when this is running as bandit 22. So that's what it's doing, and therefore if we just cat this out, we should have the we should have the password for Bandit22 because again, it's taking all the stuff inside of the Bandit22 password file and is pasting it inside of here. So if we just cat that out and say cat /temp/t, I'm gonna copy that whole thing. Let me just get that, copy, paste. If I cat that out, we get the password for Bandit22. So I'm just gonna copy that. I'm gonna exit and clear. I'm not gonna clear it now. I'm just gonna SSH. I'm gonna do it later once we connect to Bandit22. So it's Bandit22, bandit.labs.overthewire.org on port 22220. No, 2220. That port. All right. So we're gonna paste the clipboard, and we're gonna connect as Bandit22. So now that we're connected as Bandit22, let's just check what Bandit22 is gonna do. This is a program running automatically at regular intervals from cron. Time-based job scheduler. Again, the same thing. We have to look inside of the etc cron.d folder. Again, remember, I'm use them interchangeably, so folder directory referring to the same thing. For the configuration, see what command is being executed. Okay, and then it says looking at shell scripts written by other people is very useful skills. Yeah, we just did that earlier. So let's just do that right now. We're gonna change directories to that. So we're gonna specify the full path cd/etc/cron.d. We're here, and I'm gonna say ls. And this time we're trying to get into Bandit 23. So we're gonna go inside of there. So I'm gonna say cat cron job Bandit 23. That sounds weird, cron job. I don't know what that means even. So it says at reboot as Bandit 23, it's running this program over here. Okay, so this program is running as Bandit 23. Let's see what's inside of that program. So I'm gonna say user bin, specify the whole path to that file. Cron job bandit23.sh. So here, as you can see, we have the first line specifying that it's a bash file, and then it says my name equals to who am I, my target equals to echo I am user, and it runs this line of command over here, and then it echoes copying password file etc bandit pass the variable my name, which is going to be whatever this was, okay, to this location, okay, and then it says cat the password of the thing, and then it copies it there. So now let's just think about this for a second. So if we're doing this right now, if we were to run this right now, what would happen? Like right now we're Bandit 22. So if you were to run this program, my name, who am I? So if you don't know what who am I tells you what user you're currently logged in as. So if I say who am I, I'm Bandit 22 right now. So when this is running, it's going to my name is going to be Bandit 22, right? So it's going to take the variable, whatever's inside of who am I, which is Bandit 22 in our case, and it's going to save it inside of my name. And then it's going to say my target is echo I am user, and then whatever was here, which is Bandit 22. So echo I am user Bandit 22. Then it's going to do MD5 sum, which is again it's a type of encryption. And then it's going to say cut -d, and then -f1, right? So, and then it echoes the this line which says copying password file etc bandit pass bandit 22 to temp, and whatever this comes out to be. It's going to be some long string like we got before, and then it actually copies the password for bandit 22 to this file, which we don't want. We want my name to be bandit 23, right? So so what do we do here? So let me think about this for a second. So it says who am I, and then that's bandit 23. Okay, how about this? I'm gonna think. Let's create a variable. So in order to create a variable in Linux, all you have to do is add the $sign, then name it. So my name, and I'm gonna set that equal to bandit23. Okay, let me just create the variable first. Then I'm gonna say my name equals bandit23. Okay, then if I say my name, wait, is that how you do it? Let me just say something. Say my name equals Bandit 23 as in my name. I say my name. Yeah, so it's Bandit 23, right? So now that we created a variable and it has Bandit 23 inside of it, what I'm gonna do is we're running this command over here, right? So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna copy, I'm gonna paste it here because we're basically doing the same command, right? It's gonna say echo what happened? Minor glitch. All right, so we disconnected for whatever reason. Let's just log back in. And now that we're back inside, oh boy. So let's just say my name again. It doesn't know what it is, right? Yeah, so I did not. Let's just specify it's a variable. So we say my name. Wait a second. Let's just say who am I? Who am I? Let's see if it works the same way. That should give this should give us Bandit 22. And wait a second. So who am I? We're Bandit 22. If I say, oh, so I have to create the variables again. This is rough. My name. Okay, then I'm gonna say my name equals Bandit 23. So my name. My name. Alright, so it's Bandit 23 now. And if we cat let's just change directories to the etc cron again, to cron.d, ls, and then cat cron job bandit 23, then cat user bin cron job bandit 23.sh. And then we're gonna run this command. So I'm gonna say copy. All right, so this is basically what my target is, right? So if this is running as Bandit 23, like how this cron job is telling us, it's gonna create this line of text, and then it's gonna copy the password for Bandit 23 into my target, which my target is gonna be this, right? So it's copying it into temp this. So this is the name of the file inside of temp that's holding the Bandit 23 password. So let's just look at that right now. So let's just copy this. I'm gonna say cat temp that. So I'm gonna paste it, enter, and we got the password for Bandit 23, and we can move on. So let's say copy. We're gonna exit, and then we're gonna say ssh Bandit 23. I'm gonna paste, and we're logged in as Bandit 23. As you can see, these challenges are a bit harder. They're not as easy as the earlier ones where we just had to like look in that directory or copy a file, read a file, and do all that type of stuff. We actually have to do some digging, read some code, and then actually get stuff done, right? So let's go down to Bandit 23 to Bandit level 24. So it says a program is running automatically at regular levels from Chronic. This is basically the same thing again. And it's saying wait for configuration, see what command is being executed. But here it says something different. It says this level requires you to create your own first shell script. Okay, so this is a bit different. So this is a very big step, and you should be proud of yourself when you beat this level. All right, so you heard that, guys. If we complete this level, we should be proud of ourselves. So let's just go in here. Let's look at what's inside of Bandit 23. There's nothing there. Again, we have to go to the etc cron.d ls, and then it says bandit 24. Let's look at that. So cat cron job bandit 2024, and then cat this not car, cat, two completely different things. User bin cron job bandit24.sh, right? So just inside of here, and whoa, look at that. Yeah, this one's a bit longer. So again, it's a shell script because we have this bash line over here. So anytime you want to write a bash script, you have to add this, right? So it says my name, and then who am I, and this is cd var spool my name foo. It's exit 1. So it changes directories to this one over here. And remember, this is running as bandit 24, right? So when this cron is running this program at regular intervals, it's running this as bandit 24. So it says my name would be bandit 24. Then it says change directories to var spool bandit 24 foo or exit 1. This is if the this directory doesn't exist. Then it says then it prints executing and deleting all scripts in var spool my name. This would be bandit 24. So var spool bandit 24 foo. It's going to try to execute and delete all the scripts there. Then it says for I in that, which I'm assuming it means everything inside of the inside of this directory. And it says do if I is not dot or it's not dot dot. So basically, what this means is that if it's not the dot and dot dot directories, which exist in every directory, if they're not these two, then print out handling, then the name of the file, then owner, and run this stat format command, and saying if the owner is equal to bandit 23, then timeout -s 960 and execute the program. So basically, it's basically running or executing. We don't have to worry about exactly what the stat command is doing. It's probably something related to the format or whatever it is. But it's basically so it's basically it's running every single command inside of the var spool. It's executing every file inside of the var spool bandit 24 foo directory. And it's saying if the file that's there is owned by bandit 23, then put it on timeout and execute it. So yeah, so what we want, okay. Let's think about this for a second. Okay. If we create a file inside of this directory, it's gonna be owned by us, right? We're bandit 23 right now. So we're gonna enter this case, and it's gonna time out our program, and it's gonna run it after 60 seconds. Right? If you want to know how timeout works, you can look at it. I'm not gonna do it right now, but basically, what I assume is happening is that every 60 seconds, our bandit 23 program is going to run. Not our bandit 23, meaning if we were to create a file, since we're bandit 23, we're the owners of that file, right? So it would actually execute our scripts after every 60 seconds. So let's just create a file inside of here so that we know that once this program starts running, it's going to actually run the program that we write inside of here, right? So I hope this is not too confusing. We're basically just trying to create a file inside of this directory, which is going to be var spool bandit 24 foo, and then it's going to find out that it's a bandit 20. It's owned by bandit 23 because if we create a file right now, it's going to be owned by bandit 23, and it's going to run it a bit later. So it's going to run it like 60 seconds afterwards. So let's just do that right now. So let's create a file. So in order to create a file, let's use the vim text editor, and we want to create it inside of the var /spool. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll get to every single comment. Var spool bandit 24 foo, and then here let's call the file hours dot, and then it's going to be a bash script, right? So we're going to say hours.sh, and let's just create it right now. So let's put the shebang. bash. No, it's going to be bin bash. So we specify that our file is going to be a bash script. And what do we want this file to do? We want this file to copy. Remember, it's gonna run this program. We want it to cat the password of bandit24. So it's gonna be in bandit pass bandit24, and we want to output this into, let's say, in the temp directory in a file called password.txt. Then we can say done. I don't know if you have to add done. Actually, I won't do that. So that's what we want this program to do. So let's just save it. So we can say Control C, then :WQ to save, and we have it right now, right? So, and we also have to give it execution commands. So I'm gonna say chmod var spool bandit24 foo hours.sh. Oh, I forgot to give it the execution. So in order to give it execution commands, we have to do +x space. So this basically says our script can actually execute. So let's do that. And we're gonna have to wait, I'm gonna assume here. If we wait for a couple of seconds, 60 seconds specifically, our script should execute, and we should have a file called password.txt in the temp directory that has the password of bandit24. So let's just give it a few seconds and check it out. All right, let's check if it's done. Let's just see temp password.txt. Yes, we got it. There we go. So we just hijacked this whole thing, and we got the password for bandit24. So we should be proud of ourselves, just like the challenge told us, because this is a lot more confusing than the previous challenges, right? So if you did this challenge without actually looking at this tutorial, then be proud of yourself. If you needed this tutorial, then no problem. It's going to be a source of learning, and hopefully you improve from that. So now that we have bandit24, let's just exit bandit24's password. We can log in as bandit24. So let's just do that right now. So bandit24, and paste in here, and we're logged in as bandit24. So let's go to bandit24. Then it says a diamond is listening on port 3002, and will give you the password for bandit25 if given the password for bandit24 and a secret numeric 4-digit pin code. There's no way to retrieve the pin code except by going through all of the 10,000 combinations called brute force. Okay, again, we have to write another script, which is annoying, except this time, since I'm more comfortable with Python. I don't know if you guys know the Python programming language. I'm going to use Python to actually write the brute forcing script. But before we do that, let's just look at what's inside of the bandit24 directory. There's nothing there. So again, it says a diamond is listening on port 30,000. I hope I'm reading that right. Diamond on port 30,002, and will give you the password for bandit25 if given the password for bandit24 and a secret numeric code. A secret numeric 4-digit pin code. All right, so again, it's saying there's a diamond listening on port 30,002. Let's try to connect to it using the Swiss Army knife NC. So NC is going to be on localhost. Is it on localhost? Let's just check. So listed on port 30,002. I think this is implied. So yeah, so it is listed on localhost. So I'm going to say NC localhost. And it was port 30,002. I am the pin code checker for the user bandit25. Please enter the password for bandit24 and the secret pin code on a single line separated by a space. So let's just paste it here. Space, and it has to be a 4-digit pin code. So I'm going to say 0000. Wrong. Please enter the correct pin code. Let's try again. We're not going to get it. We're not that lucky. So let's say 1111. It's wrong. Okay, so basically we can't go through every single one of the pin codes, so we're gonna have to write a script, right? So let's create a file. So in order to create a file, I'm gonna use the vim directory, the vim text editor. So I'm gonna say vim temp directory, and I'm gonna call the file. Since it's gonna be a Python script, I'm gonna call it brute.py. So what I'm gonna do here is again I apologize if you guys don't know how to program in Python, but basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a file, a text file, and I'm gonna put all the possible pin codes inside of that text file. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that's gonna take forever if I try to manually type in every single pin code, right? So this is gonna be the script that's gonna allow me to do that. So first I'm gonna create a file. So in order to do that in Python, I'm gonna say file equals, again with Python you don't have to do something like shebang / bin bash like you have to do with a shell script. So I'm gonna say file open, and then I'm gonna call this file, I'm gonna say pincodes.txt, and I'm gonna open it in append mode. Again, I apologize if you guys don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so now that I did that, I'm going to start writing stuff to this file. So I'm gonna say for I in range. Again, how many possible pin codes are there? So the last one would be 9999. So we're gonna say from all the way to 10,000, I believe. Yes, I want to go to 10,000, from 0 all the way to 10,000. Again, I'm gonna explain what this code is doing after I'm done writing it. So I'm gonna say if, let's say I is less than 10, which is a 1-digit number. If it's a 1-digit number, I'm going to say file.write. I'm gonna write to this file, the pincode.txt file, and I'm gonna write the password from the previous level. Okay, and space is gonna be let's say if I is less than 10, so it's going to be 000 plus I as a string. So this again in programming, in Python specifically, you can't add a number, an integer, to a string. So that's why I'm using the string function in order to convert the I, which would be an integer, into a string. So this is basically saying if I is less than 10, if I is less than 10, then print out the password space 000 and then 1, right? Or 0. So if it was less than 0, it would be from 0 all the way up to 9, right? So it'd be, the first one would be this password, and then space 000 or 0001 or 0002 all the way up to 0009, right? So this is basically what it's doing. And then after I do that, I'm gonna write down a new line character, so that the next line that we write down, it's not gonna be next to this. It's not gonna be next to this line that we just printed, right? It's gonna go on the next line. So then we're gonna say elif I is less than 100. So here we're gonna get to this line only if I is bigger than it's 10 or greater, right? If it's 10 or greater, then we're saying if it's less than 100, meaning if it's only a 2-digit number, then we're gonna say file.write. We're gonna print out password 00. That I'm gonna say file.write new line. Then we say elif I is less than 1000. So if it's less than 1000, it's a 3-digit number. So I'm gonna say file, and based off how we wrote it, we're gonna say file.write. Let's just paste this. 0 string I. So it's gonna be a 3-digit number. So it's gonna be 0, and then the next 3 is gonna be the number itself. Then file.write new line. Then elif I is less than, this is gonna be a 4-digit number, so I'm just gonna say else. File.write. Again, in Python, you don't have to use a double quote. You can use single quotes, but I like using double quotes. Plus string I. We don't have to add any zeros now because it's gonna, the string, the number itself is already a 4-digit number. So we're gonna do that. Or am I doing something wrong? Let me just see. Yeah, so okay, that's how it would be. Then once you file dot right, and then I'm gonna say new line. So this should be it. Let's just look over that. So this basically saying if it's less than 10, if it's a 1-digit number, then it's going to be the password space 000 and then a digit. If it's less than 100, so if it's a 2-digit number, it's going to be the password space 00 and then the rest. The next 2 digits are going to be the number itself. If it's a 3-digit number, it's going to be 0 and then the 3 digits after that's going to be the number itself. And if it's other than that, then it's a 4-digit number, so I don't have to add any zeros, and the whole thing's going to be the number itself. So that's basically what I'm doing. Hopefully this works, and this should create the file for us. So I'm going to exit, Control C to escape, and then I'm going to say :Q to save. So let's execute this Python script. In order to execute the Python script, we're going to say Python 3. We're going to use a Python 3 interpreter, and then we're going to specify the file. So temp root.py. Oh, I think I made a mistake, guys. Let me just let's go and edit the file again. Because remember, we have to specify where we want to put this file. We have to put it inside of the temp directory, right? So let's just save, because we weren't currently inside of the temp directory. We're inside the Bandit 24, so we have to specify the temp directory. So let's just run this. If we were already in the temp directory, then I wouldn't have to add the line. I just add it inside of the Python script. So I'm going to say Python 3 temp root.py. And let's just cat. There should be a file called pincodes.txt. Actually, no, what did I call it? Let me just look at that again. Root.py. It's pincodes.txt, right? So okay, so let's just check that out again. Oh yeah, I didn't specify the location. This is why finding the exact location of the file is very important, because it doesn't know where it is unless you specify the exact location. So I'm gonna say vim is inside of the temp directory and it's called pincodes.txt. And as you can see, we have all the possible passwords that we would try. Imagine we tried to type all of these manually. Imagine how long that would take. So that's the beauty of programming, right? And wait, there's something wrong here. It seems that the space disappeared. So why did the space disappear here? So the space, yeah, so starting from the 4-digit numbers, the space disappeared, so that's not good. Let's just go down. Let's just go down. The page is so dark, it's kind of hard to pull. I don't know where the line is, so I'm just gonna have to go down normally. Yeah, I'm just gonna go down normally, and yeah. So as you can see, the issue here was that there was no space between the actual password and the 4-digit number when the number was 4 digits, right? So if the number was above 1000, then the space disappeared. So we have to go correct for that inside of the script and try executing the program again. So let's just go all the way back down. We're almost done. Oh my god, it's crashing again. What's going on? Oh wait. Oh no. I didn't realize I was in a text editor. Okay, so let's just correct the Python script again. So I'm gonna say root.py. We're gonna recreate that file anyway, and let's just go in here and see. Yeah, see, we forgot to add the space. So we'll see, this is a password space and then add the number. So that's why it didn't work out. Let's just save that, and let's run the program again. So I'm gonna say Python 3, and now let's cat passwords.txt. No, it wasn't. It's called pin codes. Pin codes. .txt, but I specify the location, so it's going to be inside of the temp folder. So temp, and as you can, wait a second. What happened there? Pin codes.txt. Oh wait. Okay, so it seems like. Let me just. All right, so it's root, not pi. Again, there's another error. Just to check what it is. There are times when there's no space. So we go from 0 all the way to 10,000, fine. And I think if I is less than 10, it would be there. And 0, 0, 0, 0 plus that, fine. And so what's the issue here? So we wrote the script 0, 0, 0, it'd be 0, 0, 0, and then the number itself was 3, it'd be less than 1,000. If it wasn't, it'd be string. Yeah, that's weird. Let's just wait a second. So I'm gonna maximize this page. Maybe I can't really see it here, so I'm gonna maximize this page. And this screen is super dark, so you just let's try to figure out why that happened. So I'm just gonna go up and try to figure out the source of this error, because there shouldn't be one. But just go up and figure out where this error occurred. Oh, never mind. I know why. We had to first, because remember when we created the file in the beginning, it had all the messed up passwords and pin combinations, and then we just added this to the top. So we had to remove the original one and create a new one. So we're going to say temp password. No, it's a pin codes.txt. We have to remove that one, and we have to recreate it by running the Python script again. So I'm going to say Python temp Python 3, and then the program was called roots.py. Now it should be correct. So let's say temp pin codes.txt. Yeah, so now it works correctly. As you can see, everything is working correctly. And now, in order, this is the moment of truth. We're going to use the text file we created, and we're gonna pipe it in to the original command. So I'm gonna say cat temp pin codes.txt, and we're gonna pipe that into nc localhost at 30,002. So what this is gonna do is that remember when we connected to this port on the localhost, it asks us to type in the password and with a 4-digit pin. What's gonna happen is that every line inside of this text file is gonna be passed in one by one until it actually finds the password. So I'm gonna hit enter on that, and it says the port number is too large. Okay, I wrote the wrong number, so let's check that again. And as you can see, it's trying. It keeps trying them until it actually finds it. And yeah, and one common problem is that sometimes, as you can see, it did like over, I don't know, probably 1,000 tries already. The terminal starts getting frozen because we're putting a lot of output onto the screen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna modify the script. So I'm gonna modify the Python script. .py. We know now for a fact that that this thing it's definitely above 1,000, or let's just say it's not it's not early on, right? So we're gonna say start from 1,000 and then go all the way to 1,000. So it's not gonna start from the beginning because we already saw that there was a lot of incorrect passwords. So let's just increase it. So instead of starting from 0, we're gonna start from 1,000 because the terminal was slowing down. So let's just try this again. This is one strange problem I came across earlier. So let's just remove the original password. So I'm gonna say remove temp password. No, remove pin codes. I keep thinking it's passwords. And then I'm gonna rerun the program, which was Python 3 temp root.py. And then now we're gonna use that text file in order to do the brute force. So let's try that again. All right, so we got it. As you can see, it found it and the final password. Again, we can't know because if we wanted, we could have said every time you printed that out, let us know what number we're on. But we didn't do that, right? So we don't actually know the exact four digit pin that generated the password, but we actually got it, right? So it tried a bunch of them. It started from 00000 all the way down to 99999. And we modified it so it actually started from 1,000 this time and went 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, all the way down to 99999. And during that process, it found one that actually gave us a password, right? So we're gonna copy this. This should be the password for Bandit 25. We're gonna exit, and we're gonna connect as Bandit 25. As you can see, these challenges are getting a lot harder. We're not doing the same things we were doing before. If you find anything confusing, please let me know. I'll be happy to help. So we're in Bandit 25, hit enter, and it says error. So let's just find out why that's happening. Paste. There we go. So we're Bandit 25, and we're gonna stop it here, and we're gonna continue next time because we did 5 challenges. Hope you guys enjoyed. If this is a bit confusing, you felt like you weren't understanding some of the levels, leave a comment, and I'll try to get to you and answer all your questions. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and have a good day, guys.